Welcome to the first video of my Minecraft survival guide. So in this class we're going to be using Minecraft to learn how to do some things with Microsoft Office, especially Microsoft Word, which you'll see I have it open right now. So we're going to begin to create a document that looks like mine that talks about how we're going to survive inside the Minecraft world. So you'll see I have a title and I've chosen a picture from the internet. And as we scroll down, you'll see that I have different sections of my document so far. I have a welcome and I talk about the backstory. I've inserted some pictures from the Minecraft world into the document. I have a table there. I have a list where I'm talking about the environment. And pretty soon we're going to be making all this ourselves inside Microsoft Word. So I hope you're excited about getting started. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do is open up Microsoft Word. And on our computers, the best way to do that is to go down to the Microsoft button down here, go to All Programs, and find the Microsoft Office folder, which is right here. And we're looking for Microsoft Office Word. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new document as I'm showing you how to create your own. I'll have this one available as a reference to you as we move forward. The first thing we need to do is have a title. And you'll notice with Microsoft Word we've got quite a few things up here in what's called our ribbon. The ribbon is where we have different tabs that give us different things that we can do inside of Word. We're going to spend most of our time on the Home tab here. And right here, sort of in the middle to the right, we have several options for the kind of text we want to write. We have things like normal, heading, title, subtitle, and actually there are quite a few. For the most part, we're going to be sticking with normal, the headings, and our title. So you'll see that if I click on title and begin to write, it makes it bigger automatically, and it underlines it automatically, and it's also changed the color to a little bit of like a dark blue color. So I'm going to go ahead and type my title, which is Mr. Eames' Minecraft Survival Guide. You'll obviously change that for your own name. And I think just to make it a little bit more fun, I'm going to go ahead and use my mouse to highlight all the text I've written so far. And I'm going to change the font. And there are a lot of fonts built into Microsoft Word. For the most part, we're going to stick with one of the main ones as we write. But for things like titles, we can have a little bit more fun. And find a font that sort of expresses our personality a little bit better. So I'll just go ahead and click on this one for now. It's a lot more fun. I might even make it a little bit bigger. I can do that by either changing the number next to the font or clicking on the big A or the small a. The big A grows the font, makes it larger, and the small a shrinks it. Alright, that's a little bit too big, so I want it to be on one line, so I'm going to shrink it one more time. And there I go. I'm going to go ahead and press enter to go down to my next line, and you'll see that it automatically switched from title back to normal. So if I type now, the font is back to the default font, the color is back to black, and it's back to being 11 point, which is sort of standard these days for most fonts. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. You'll recall that if I switch back to mine, the next thing I did is I had a picture that I had found from the internet. So we're going to go to the internet, and really all I did was I went to Google Chrome and I just searched for Minecraft and clicked on images. Now, as you know, our filter has a hard time with Google Images sometimes, but I found one, and you see it right there, that I thought was very interesting and worked pretty well, but you can pick any one you want. So let's say that for now I want to choose this one. I'm going to click on it. Oh, that's blocked. That's not going to work. Let's try this one. Oh, blocked too. Alright, one more try. This one looks like it might work. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click on this picture, and I'm going to save image as. Now, just to keep things simple, I'm going to save it in my pictures folder, which is sort of the default, and I'm going to call it Survival Guide Picture, so I know exactly what it is. I'm going to press save. Okay, down here you see it downloaded. I can go back to my document, and now I need to switch tabs from Home to Insert. And Insert is exactly what it sounds like. Anytime I need to put something into my document, that's where I'm going to go. So I can put things like pictures, charts, clip art, shapes, tables, all kinds of things. For now, obviously, we're going to be putting a picture in here. And let me scroll down. You see I've got lots of pictures. And there it is, Survival Guide Pictures, what I called it. Okay. Puts it right on the screen. And what it does is it automatically opens up sort of the picture options. And if I click off of that and go back to my Home tab, if I ever want to get back to my picture options, it's very simple. I just go back to the picture and double click. And it opens up all my options. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to center this picture, and that is the center button right there. I'm going to double click. And these are kind of cool. These are like frames, and if I just hover my mouse over them, you'll see that it adds different various frames to the picture. If I click this little down arrow, you'll see there's lots of options for me. It does things like rotate it. Sometimes it'll make it a circle. All kinds of neat things I can do. I think I like this one the best for this particular picture. So I'm going to click that. And you see it makes it sort of blurry around the edges. I think it's kind of a neat effect. So now this is a perfect time to save our document. Really, I should have done it before I even put the picture in there, but I kind of forgot as I was making the video. But we should save the document right away so that it becomes easier to save as we go along, and we don't have to worry about losing it in case something happens like the power cuts off. So I'm going to go up to my Microsoft button, top left-hand corner, and this time, since I haven't ever saved it before, I need to use Save As, and that means I'm going to actually give it a name. I'm going to save it as a certain name. So I'm going to go ahead and click there, and it lets me say where I should put it. Now for us, the best place to put it is going to be in our S drive. And there's my S drive. It's got my username on there. You might have to click on the little arrow next to computer to open that up. And I'm going to call this Mr. Eames. And it's good not to have spaces inside of a file name. So I'm going to do these little things called underscores. Survival Guide. And I'm going to call this 2 because this is the second one I'm making. But you'll see I have my name and I have what it is. You should always have those two things in a file name so you always are aware of what different files are. If I were just save this as Mr. Eames and I kept saving things as Mr. Eames, I would never know what they actually were. So I'm going to go ahead and press save. And you'll see right up here, I know it's been saved because the name changed from Untitled to Mr. Eames Survival Guide. Now the cool thing is, from now on, all I have to do to save it in the same place with the same name is to go, and instead of doing Save As, I just press Save. Or if I'm really snazzy, I can use the shortcut and press Control and S at the same time, and it will automatically save it really quickly. And every couple of minutes as I'm working, I should do that so that I don't lose any work if something bad were to happen to the computer. So let's continue. I'm going to go ahead and move down to the second page of the document, and right now with my cursor after the picture, the best way to do that is just to press the Enter key, and you'll see the cursor moves down, 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 and I'm going to do that until I reach the second page. And there I am. And right now my cursor is still centered because I wanted to center my picture, you'll recall, and that's why this button right here is highlighted. If I want to move it back to the left, I just click this one. If I ever wanted to, I could put it on the right as well, like for example putting your name at the top of a document, but for the most part we're going to be on the left hand side. So now we're going to begin to actually work on the sort of the meat of the document, and the first thing we're going to do is have a little welcome section where you introduce yourself and explain what the document is. We're not going to use title for that. We're actually going to use heading 1, which is not quite as big as title, but sort of tells people that this is also very important. So I'm going to say welcome. And I like it for welcome to also be underlined, so I'm going to use my mouse to highlight the word welcome, and I'm going to click on the underline button right here. You'll see that it's already bolded, and if I unbold it, you can see what happens here. But I'm going to leave it bold, and I'm going to go ahead and underline it as well. I'm going to go back down here and press Enter, and just like before, I switched from heading back to normal. And here I'm going to introduce myself with a few sentences and explain what this document actually is. So I'll say, and you'll see that sometimes as I'm typing, if I make typos, I get this red squiggle underneath. And what I can do is I can right click underneath of it, and it's going to give me some suggestions. And actually, those aren't even close, so I need to go back and fix this. So let's say that's what I typed, and I right click on it. Now it's going to realize that I was probably trying to type the word document, and all I have to do is click the word document. It will automatically change right here. But you're probably asking yourself, why is Minecraft underlined in red? I've definitely spelled it right. Well, the problem is that Word just doesn't understand that Minecraft is a word. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to tell it, you know what, I want you to add this to the dictionary. So from now on, it will recognize that as a word and it won't underline it anymore. And a lot of times that will happen for your name if you don't have a very common name. So you might want to go ahead and add your name to the dictionary so it will stop underlining it in red, which can be kind of annoying. Okay, so in this document, I am going to show you how I survived in Minecraft. And I'm just going to go ahead actually and point back to my first document, which is this one right here. And you will see I wrote several sentences where I explain that this is where I taught you about how to overcome challenges in the game world. And then I spend at least 2 or 3 sentences introducing myself. I give my name. I explain that I'm a technology teacher at Seed School of Maryland. I tell you about what I teach, and I tell you what I'd like to do in my spare time. You obviously won't be talking about what you're teaching. You might be talking about what you're learning. You might be talking about more about the kind of things that you do in your spare time. But this is what it should look like, and it should be at least 4 or 5 sentences as a welcome. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy this in here so you don't have to watch me type the whole thing. Okay, and I'm actually going to put my cursor up here right before in this guide. I'm going to press the Enter key once, and that's going to move everything down so it's a little bit less jumbled up there. So I'm going to put space down here, and I'm going to go ahead and do heading, and I'm going to do what I am calling the backstory. Once again, I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to underline it, and then I'm going to press Enter a couple times to give some space. And this is where you are going to give me the backstory for your character in Minecraft. This is where you're going to get creative. You'll see that I've written a story about how I got to the Minecraft world that involves a shipwreck. I talk about how it was a dark and stormy night, and the ship was being tossed around. And I have several paragraphs about my story. Now yours should look different than mine because we're all being creative here. We're all going to have different stories. I talk about going to the lifeboats and then getting hit by a wave and sort of waking up later on dry land, not sure how I got here. I've also included a picture, which I'm going to get to in just a second, show you how to do that. For right now, we're just typing our story. I want to point out that I have 4 paragraphs. Each paragraph has about 4 to 5 sentences in it, and that's what I expect from you as well. 4 paragraphs, each has 4 to 5 complete sentences about how you got to where we are in Minecraft. And I know it can be hard to sort of get started creatively, so I'm going to give you some ideas about some potential ways that you could have ended up in Minecraft. So I've done the shipwreck, and I'm not going to say that you can't do the shipwreck, but if you do, it should definitely look and sound different than mine. Another possible way you could have ended up in this strange place would be a plane crash. Another way you could have ended up in the Minecraft world is maybe you're an explorer, and you set out to explore strange new places, and this is where you ended up. So there really are lots of different versions of the story that you could tell, and there are lots that I haven't thought of. So I'm hoping that some people will really stretch themselves, think outside the box, and come up with some really interesting stories to go along with the game. So you'll see I've written my backstory. I don't have a picture yet, but I'll get to that in the next video. And I think this would be a good stopping point for the first video. We've got a good start on our Minecraft document, and we've learned some things about how to use Microsoft Word to express ourselves. So if you haven't recently, you should definitely go ahead and save by pressing Control S. And you'll see that when I did that, it popped up down here saying that it was saving, but it happened in sort of a blink of an eye. So just because you don't see it happening doesn't mean it isn't happening. But you should be saving all the time. And next time we're actually going to jump into the Minecraft world itself and get started. So good work, and I'll see you next time.